Hey everybody, this is Doomhammer. It's been a while since I've updated with a Madden video. It's been a long off season. I had to do a lot of corrections because some of the files were weird because they were different sizes of players, like linemen being skinny and stuff like that. So I was fixing a lot of that. But here we are. We'll have some updates on this 32-team franchise. So after the 2015-2016 season, we got the Steelers with Cameron Wimbley and Chris Chester retiring. Peyton Manning, who only played 13 games for the Ravens after a midseason trade, retires. This was the same year he retired in real life. Marcus Spears, Donnie Avery, Sebastian Vollmer. Terrell Suggs, who was drafted by the Texans, and I drafted him, and he retires. They got Trent Cole. Andre Ellington with the Titans, Kira Small, Tamba Hali. Then the Colts have Jeremy Shockey, Daniel Manning, and Desmond Bishop all retiring. Then we got the Chiefs with DeMarcus Ware, Jacoby Jones with the Saints, Davin Joseph, Will Allen, Michael Huff, Jason Spitz, all gone with the Vikings. The Packers have Chad Greenway, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Greg Jones, Chris Cooper. Then you got the Bears with Dan Stevenson, Brandon Marshall, who has not had that great of a career in this franchise as he did in real life. You got Max Jean Gillies with guard there for the Bears. Lions with Tony Scheffler, Todd Heap, Kendall Hunter, Albert Hainsworth, and Justin Blaylock. Moving on, we've got Richard Medlin with the Panthers, Matt Schaub with the Falcons, PK Sam, wide receiver, James Starks. We got Michael Cox, Owen Daniels, Mark Anderson, Vincent Jackson with the Commanders. Donovan McNabb, he's a big retirement there. He had quite the season quite the year, not the year. He had quite the career. That's the word I'm looking for in my franchise. 3 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl victory, a 16-0 season. Was with the Eagles his entire career. That I'll be showing some highlights about him later. Mercedes Lewis retires, which unlike real life where he was still going at 40. Eli Manning only had 1 season with the Giants, going 8-9. Then he retires. Vontae Leach, Teo Johnson, one of my main tight ends, who has had quite the career, and then Antrell Roll. Moving on, we've got Eric Steinbach, Thomas Howard, Jason Witten, John Kuhn. With Dallas, we got Jamal Jackson, Chris Myers, Josh Brown, Michael Cox, Owen Daniels, Mark Anderson. We got Cardinals with Dexter McCluster, Logan Mankins, Matt Spaeth. Yep, there we go. And now we've got Peyton Manning, the long review of his career. He played for the Colts, of course, won 2 Super Bowls. He was MVP, Offensive Player of the Year twice. He ended up going to the Atlanta Falcons. He had some success there before being traded off to the Ravens, where he had his unfortunate end of his career. But when we compare him with the real-life Manning, my Madden Manning was 74,105 yards. Basically, everything was better except in real life. Apparently, he ran for 4 more rushing touchdowns than I did. But I threw for more yards, more touchdowns, 8 more interceptions. He played the same amount of time as he did in real life. You can see 162 to 122 record. Moving on, we got Donovan McNabb. So he was the Super Bowl MVP the one time he won the Super Bowl. He went to the NFC Championship game and won it 3 times, but twice where he lost the Super Bowl. He was the league MVP 1 year from 99 all the way to 2015. So 174 to 91 record, one of the most winningest quarterbacks in my franchise. As you can see, he has an extra 20,000 passing yards in my franchise than he did in real life. Well over double the passing touchdowns. Interceptions, I threw a lot more interceptions, but he played a lot more. Had about 2,400 yards more in rushing and a good almost 40, maybe like 34 rushing touchdowns more. So McNabb, definitely a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback in my franchise compared to real life. Then there's Eli Manning. Now, Eli Manning did not have such a great career in my franchise. He started out with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he made the AFC Championship game but lost to the Patriots. From there, he kind of bounced around. He was with the Ravens for a bit. He was with the Packers, the Seahawks. Then he ended up ending his career here with the Giants for one last hoorah, and he went 8-9. So an 82-94 record from 2004 to 2015. Eli Manning, more of a subpar quarterback, and sort of became a journeyman. So again, right there, I ran for more yards and ran for more touchdowns in my franchise than he did in real life. but that's not much to show for. No 2 Super Bowl wins for Eli Manning. Then we got Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub also chose to retire. Another 2004 quarterback. He went 56 and 54. He threw for 22,601 yards. He was very active early because he took the Giants to the Super Bowl twice. And then he started to bounce around and was a backup in numerous locations. He was also in Baltimore, went 1-5 there. He was a backup in Tampa Bay, went 1-2, was with Denver for 2 years, and finished his career with the Atlanta Falcons. So moving on, we have running back now, Clinton Portis. He made the Super Bowl last year with the Patriots, but unfortunately they lost to the Los Angeles Rams. He was MVP of the league, was Player of the Year. He was originally with the Denver Broncos. Then he went over to the New York Jets, that's where he was the MVP and Player of the Year. And the Patriots brought him over for one season where he was just sort of the backup behind Jamal Charles, but still a veteran running back, had some playing time in the postseason. But you can see my Madden Clinton Portis was fantastic. He was almost the LaDainian Tomlinson of my franchise. He was a 99 overall, one of the best running backs in the league. A lot of those yards were with the Jets. As you can see, 16,000 career rushing yards in my franchise, about almost 7,000 more than in real life. He had almost an extra 100 rushing touchdowns in my franchise than in real life. And then he caught 41 touchdown receptions as opposed to 5 as he did in real life. Then we got wide receiver Vincent Jackson in my franchise. He is almost the same. I mean, a little bit less in receptions, a lot more touchdowns, and about the same yards. Only like 43 yards difference. Jackson spent 4 years with the Minnesota Vikings, where he was drafted in 2005. And then he went to the Washington Redskins for 3 years, 2009 through 11. Then the Redskins became the Commanders, and he finished out his career as a Commander. Then we got PK Sam. Now, you might not know who he is because he never really caught a pass in the real life NFL. But he was the Mr. Irrelevant in the 2004 draft right after the Houston Texans won the Super Bowl. And so he was drafted by the Texans in the 7th round, 32nd overall pick. And from there, he became a very reliable receiver. He wasn't ever a superstar, but 238 receptions, 4,300 yards, and 39 touchdowns. After going from the Texans, he went to the Colts. I believe he won a Super Bowl with them, or maybe he did. But he was very active with the Colts. I think he went to the Super Bowl with them. I don't know if he was there during the time that they were winning the Super Bowl. And then he just finished his year with the Falcons, his career with the Falcons, where he didn't catch a pass, it was more of a veteran presence. Then we got ourselves Jeremy Shockey. Jeremy Shockey was a New York Giant at the beginning of his career, like he was in real life, and he eventually made his way to the Indianapolis Colts. As you can see, he caught more passes in real life, but I had him catch for more yards by about 2,100 more, and he caught 72 touchdowns as opposed to 37 as opposed to his real life. Continuing on, we got Teo Johnson, another player that didn't really have much of a career in real life, but in my franchise, he was a top tight end. He was drafted by the Panthers, did fairly well with them. Then he was in his rookie year. He helped them go to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. They lost, unfortunately, to the Texans. He went to the Cleveland Browns for a bit. He went to, I think it was, the Washington Commanders. And then he finished his career with the New York Giants. But yes, just like PK Sam, Teo Johnson did not have much of a career in real life, but he had a phenomenal career in my franchise. Next is Owen Daniels, spent his entire career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As you can see, less receptions, but more rec yards and more rec touchdowns by 11 in my franchise. Mercedes Lewis spent most of his career with the New York Jets. He did finish his career with the Philadelphia Eagles this season, but he is mostly known for being a New York Jet, where in real life, he played all the way to 2025. He was like a 40-year-old or something like that. But in my franchise, he's calling it quits a decade earlier than he did in real life. So he had 7 more receiving touchdowns, about 800 more receiving yards, and almost a little less than double receptions. But I think that's not bad for a career that ended 10 years earlier than it did in real life. Then we got Jason Witten, an example of someone who had a much better career in real life than my franchise. He was with the St. Louis Rams for the majority of his career, and then he ended up going to the Cowboys where he finished his career. And so in real life, he went to like 2020, so he stayed in the league a lot longer. But even if he did, he started to slow down a bit. He wasn't getting much attention. The Cowboys were kind of going with other options there at tight end. They did draft, what was his name? Eric Ebron. But even though he didn't have the same career as he did in real life, he still had a good, solid tight end career in my franchise. And that's it. That's the retirements for the 2016 year. There were a few that were retired that I decided to unretire. Like Tom Brady technically retired, but I said, nope, he's going to stay in the league a little bit longer. And so looking forward to continuing this offseason with you. So this was the retirements. We'll get to free agency, trades, and the draft soon enough. All right, thanks for watching. Like if you like this alternate reality of the NFL, if you like seeing these updates, and subscribe if you want more. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.